My friends, I saw something disgusting yesterday. No, I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton. Something almost as disgusting. And maybe you saw it too. My name's Howard Riell. This is Real Truth. A friend of mine sent me a YouTube video of a student walking up to a teacher, a real-life student walking up to a teacher in the school and just punching the teacher in the face. The teacher is a woman, the student is a girl. Punching the teacher in the face. The teacher's reaction was to turn around and walk away. The student followed her and slapped her, punched her in the face 2 or 3 more times, and all the teacher said was, "I'm not getting suspended because of you." And she walked away as the student continued to hit her in the face. I'll be very honest with you. I felt sick to my stomach after watching this video. I posted it on Facebook with the question, what is happening to America? What's happening with liberal school administrators who have taken PC to the point where teachers don't feel they can respond even if a student punches them repeatedly in the face? If they respond, they know they'll be fired. My friends, it's worse than insanity. It is the open gateway for evil. If teachers like this woman are afraid to hit back, then what the hell is there to prevent other students in other schools and other cities and states from teeing off on their teachers? This is a typical liberal thing. It's from liberal school administrators where the victim is the criminal and the criminal is the victim. This is the sickening, stomach-churning fingerprint, if you will, of liberalism. This is liberalism at its most refined. Go to my Facebook page. You'll see it. I'm pretty sure I copied it. It is absolutely disgusting. And by the way, where do students get off hitting teachers? I'm guessing this student's parents are also low-life animals. I've asked the question before, what has happened to our society? It is ugly, it is scary, and it is the future of America. Unless we slam on the brakes and begin teaching our kids respect, self-worth, to behave like human beings. But you know what? I see no sign that people are turning around and teaching their kids anything different. And so, expect in the future to be accosted by young punks who've been told by school administrators all through their lives that they can do anything they want. It's Thursday. Real Truth. Be right back.
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
The associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter Lafayette, Vermont. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, or courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families foot the bill for our freedom every day. Send a military care package to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts. This message from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter on Highway 287 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care.
If catastrophe struck, would your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Ferris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Ferris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Ferris Survival.
All right, guys, let's kick it off. Let me start you off with an hors d'oeuvre of Dinesh D'Souza being interviewed on KUSI News. He's about to come with facts, which means that you can almost in the background hear liberals running for the door. Dinesh D'Souza.
This morning is author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza. Nice to see you, Dinesh. Welcome back.
Good to be here.
All right, this is a very timely subject matter that we're talking about because of what happened in Charlottesville. These American Nazis and this party decided that they were going to demonstrate. Counter-demonstrators joined in the fray, and what ended up was, of course, the unfortunate death of this woman, the death of 2 police officers in a helicopter. All of this is just part of what we call American history. This is just because people have the right to demonstrate, and even the mayor of Charlottesville said this could have been a very peaceful demonstration were it not for some of the conflict. So let's get into your book, The Big Lie. What's really the origin of all of this?
Well, ultimately, what these skirmishes are about is a narrative of American history. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? And part of why the media is running with this whole Charlottesville narrative is it seems on the surface to support the idea that the bad guys are the right-wingers. Here you've got these neo-Nazis, these KKK guys. They seem to be for Trump. The good guys are fighting against them. But the whole thing is a kind of scam. And by that I mean, number one, the guy who organized this hate rally turns out to be a former Obama guy and an Occupy Wall Street guy. So right away, it's a little suspect. Number two, supposedly the demonstration was because they want to pull down this monument of Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee. Now, Robert E. Lee was...
He was a Confederate president.
He was the leader, the general.
The general of the Confederacy.
But he was a military guy. And in fact, he was such a good guy that Lincoln offered him the supreme command of the Union forces. But Lee was a Virginian, so he refused to go to war with Virginia. But he was against slavery, and he opposed secession. He didn't want the South to secede. So if you're looking for a symbol of slavery and secession, don't start with Robert E. Lee. There are lots of bad guys. Robert Byrd, we were mentioning a moment ago.
Senator Byrd from West Virginia.
Senator Byrd was a high-up guy in the West Virginia Ku Klux Klan. And yet here's a guy who was called the conscience of the Senate, lionized by Hillary, Obama, Bill Clinton was at his funeral. Half of West Virginia is named after this guy. You drive up West Virginia, Robert Byrd School, Robert Byrd Highway, Robert Byrd this.
He was a grand wizard with the KKK.
And no one's pulling his statues down. So part of what I'm getting at is this. The left has sort of constructed this lie that the Klan was on the right. The Klan was actually the domestic terrorist arm of the Democratic Party. That the Nazis were on the right. Wait a minute. Hitler was a National Socialist. That was the name of his party. Mussolini was a Marxist. So the real fascists were on the left. And in fact, they were in bed with the American left.
So how did this get twisted?
After World War II, when the images of the concentration camps came out, these emaciated people, fascism became totally discredited. And the progressives who were coming to power in America, in the academy, in the media, they knew the record. And they were like, we better cover this up. We don't want young people to link us with all this horrible stuff. So we're going to try to move fascism from the left-wing column, where it's always belonged, into the right-wing column, so we can smear our opponents from now on with the fascist label.
It appears that they've been successful, though.
They've been very successful, and this book is a sort of detoxifier. It's an antidote to these big lies. And by blowing up these big lies, we take away these false narratives. Because people talk about fake news. I'm into fake scholarship and fake history. And that's a big problem in this country, too.
But how do you denounce hate? I mean, the thing about this is that the label is hate. Okay, we are against hate. We do not want to promote hate. Yet the First Amendment provides a forum for hate, or for anything that's different than what you believe. Anyone can say whatever they want, be it hate speech or not hate speech. How do you see that?
Well, the way I see it is that you cross the line from speech into violence when you start beating people up and killing them, right? So the guy who plowed into
the... That's criminal.
That's criminal behavior.
Yeah.
Now, there were 200 people arrested for rioting, felony rioting, that's the charge, at the Trump inauguration. Now, normally these leftists are like, listen, we're noble rioters, put us in jail overnight, we'll be martyrs in the morning. But felony rioting is a crime with 5 to 10 years in prison. So if you want to lock up the white supremacists, and you should, who killed that woman, let's make sure we prosecute these dudes too, and let's see some prison sentences. Once we hold people accountable to the law, some of this will subside.
So when I read this book, The Big Lie, what surprise am I going to read in this book? That JFK liked Hitler?
That's a big surprise. The FDR was a fan of Mussolini, but I'll give you a bigger surprise. The Nazis, Hitler, developed some of their most genocidal schemes by taking ideas straight from the Democratic Party. I'm not saying that they were similar. I'm saying the Nazis got it.
That seems outrageous to me.
Well, I'll give you an example. So the Nazis are sitting in 1935. They're drafting the Nuremberg laws against Jews. And they go, we are great. We're creating the world's first racial state. One of the Nazis stands up and he goes, I studied in America. The Americans have beaten us to the punch. The Democrats in the South already have segregation. They already have state-sponsored discrimination. They already outlaw intermarriage. Everything we're trying to do to Jews, they do to blacks. Let's take their laws. We'll cross out the word black, we'll write in the word Jew, and we're home free. So the Nazis then pulled together all these American laws. We have the transcripts of these Nuremberg meetings. The book it's a window into history and a part of history that's not in our textbooks, but will be mind-blowing when people read it.
Why do they want to quash this?
They want to quash it because it spoils their meta story. Ultimately, the meta story is that the fascists are the Trumpsters. They're the right-wingers. The moment you see FDR, all the icons of progressivism in bed with Mussolini and early Hitler, it spoils their multicultural picnic.
Well, it's an eye-opening read, Dinesh. It really is. As I read some excerpts of the book, I found it to be quite eye-opening. Thanks so much. Appreciate you being here. The book.
My friends, the book is called The Big Lie. I have read some of it. It is excellent. I recommend you get it, whether in book form or Kindle, what have you. It is essential reading, especially for folks like you who are up on the news, up on trends, who see things others don't see and know truths that others don't know. This book is right up your alley. I recommend it highly. Item from InfoWars. A microchip embedded under the skin will replace credit cards and keys, according to Stephen Riell, who's already overseen a program for Sweden's largest state-owned train operator that allows customers to scan their chips instead of using tickets. BBC News showcased the system in which Swedes are able to have their embedded chip scanned by a conductor who uses an app to match up their chip membership number with a purchased ticket. Around 3,000 people in Sweden have already had a chip embedded in their hand in order to access secure areas of buildings. Unquote. My friends, you have free will. You can do what you want. Nobody's putting a chip in my hand or any place else. Because once you've got electronics in your body, you can be easily controlled. Both in the ways we know about and the ways we don't know about. And if there's, for example, an EMP that fries all the electronics in a given area, what's going to happen to that little bit of electronics in your body? All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back. Lots more, my friends, here on Real Truth. Don't touch that dial.
Now this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver is not only the best we found in a Mexican meeting, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo. That's a uniform people free. Firefighter team, 9/11, working our people. We thank them for doing a great job in our area. Shop and raise a family. We realize that job is getting sometimes done. This message from Sept uniform people free. Call 352-2233. They're on the air because they care. And hire the uniform people in groups.
My friends, I'll be very honest with you, as I always am. Brutally honest. I am growing impatient and disappointed in Donald Trump. Now, you know I have been a vociferous Donald Trump supporter for the entire trip. But now he's talking about DACA. He's talking about finding a way for the 800,000 illegals to stay here. He's making deals with Pelosi and Schumer. He's not getting anyone to go along with him on the wall. And I'm starting to wonder what's happening. So let me present to you Laura Ingraham from earlier today, talking about Trump, DACA, the wall, what have you. Listen closely.
Well, we claim that
let's not go to. We've heard enough. My friends, people ask me about Trump. What's Trump doing? I don't know. I don't know. But I am disappointed. Item from CBS 13. Controversy erupts at Vista del Lago High School in Folsom over students chanting USA. It's a popular way for students to show pride during sporting events and rallies, but school and district officials are now warning students that chants could appear inappropriate and intolerant. Unquote. My friends, I'll say the same thing I said before. Liberal school administrators poisoning our kids' minds. Now it's wrong to chant USA, USA. Where this ends up, only God knows, and I haven't spoken with them today. I'll be right back.
R&R Supply Incorporated in Fort Collins reminds us every day our troops demonstrate their dedication to our nation. Now is the time for us to return to faith. Hire our returning veterans to follow us up with the path. After investing their lives in our nation, they deserve our investment. This message is from R&R Supply Incorporated in Fort Collins, and they're on the air, reminding all of us that our freedom has never been free.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution.
We leave the blocker fund and reminds our listeners that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early age. We want to applaud the youngsters in our community who have had the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from over the blocker plant located at 366 Granite Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized HB and pork and complete custom process. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240. If catastrophe struck, will your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Ferris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Ferris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Ferris Survival.
The associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter out here to remind you. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, or courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families will prepare for our freedom every day. Send a military care package today to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and their thoughts. This message is from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter on Highway 207 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care.
All right, my friends, welcome back to Real Truth, the longest-running comedy in American politics, known as Hillary Clinton, is still making us laugh. She's just put out a new book called What Happened. Hillary, what happened is you got your sleazy butt kicked out of Washington, D.C. Anyway, here with a somewhat more nuanced interpretation is my colleague Rush Limbaugh. My friends, let me sum it all up for you. Hillary Clinton is a disaster. Now, she said she has no intention of running for president again, which made me feel a little bit better. Then I realized who it was who was speaking. Hillary Clinton is a world-class liar. And it would take nothing at all for her to step in front of a microphone one day and say, look, I was being honest when I said I had no intention of running for president again, but I don't want to disappoint all those little girls out there who are depending on me, who want to see women treated equally. Think it couldn't happen? You don't know Shrillery Clinton. We'll take a break. Real Truth does what it basically always does. It marches on.
Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about having your own backyard chicken? Now you have a source for certified organic, no GMO, no soy chicken feed. HappyHens.biz can even deliver, or you can pick up. Call me, Tim, at 303-829-5948, or go to HappyHens.biz for pricing and ingredients. At HappyHens.biz, we love HappyHens.biz, or call us at 303-829-5948.
Your local DuPont Pioneer team doesn't take with you from the word go lightly, especially when it comes to forages. Just ask your fellow producers, folks like Amos Smith.
We have an awesome support team from Pioneer. I think that they're probably one of the reasons why we are successful.
And Bruce Cullum.
They'll come out anytime you want to call them and help us. You don't get that from all your other seed dealers, but these guys are here all season long.
As well as Ken Phelps.
Just know that the research that Pioneer's done, it really it shows, and that the cows really do well with it, so we continue to use it.
Or Billy Rucker.
All in all, seem like Pioneer is always in the top. I believe green, and I believe Pioneer.
Want a team that's with you from the word go? That's DuPont Pioneer. Ask them about leveraging the Silent Zone resource to produce the highest quality forages for your operation. Pioneer, with you from the word go.
We thank them for doing a great job. Shop and respect. We realize the job is sometimes the message comes to pretty. Call 352-2233. They're on the air because they care. The uniform people in Cooley.
My friends, welcome back to Real Truth. Since you brought up the whole topic of Hillary Clinton being a piece of garbage, let's run with that. One of the people who knows the Clintons better than anyone else because he worked with them for years and years is Dick Morris. Well, I won't tell you what Dick Morris has to say about Hillary Clinton. Let him say it, because you'll believe it from his lips instead of mine. Here's Dick Morris.
In my experience,
a frothing cauldron of bitterness and anger. My friends, I'm a professional writer, and I couldn't have put it any better.
Of other people, like a volcano. It looks like a nice, pleasant mountain, and would be nice to hike on it, but underneath, inside, the molten lava is just going crazy and boiling and waiting for a chance to erupt and shoot out onto the surface. This characteristic is very evident in her new book, What Happened, in which she really lets herself go and goes after everybody in politics, except herself. The key, however, is that when you look at this, you get a clear grasp of her worldview in a way that her policy positions or her self-serving statements never really help us to do. So let's go through the charges she makes to see the insights that it offers into her character. One prominent among them is this, what she calls a phony email scandal. And she says that Comey cost her the election by reopening the investigation and raising the issue in the first place. And she said that the Congress and the media kept this issue front and center. She blames Matt Lauer for raising it during her first candidates forum. She says it was a dumb mistake, but a dumber scandal. She just does not understand and does not get that when you have a reputation for secrecy, you can't govern with secret emails. You can't have a server that the public doesn't access, and you have no idea what's on it. But more importantly, she won't admit to herself the fundamental truth, which is the reason she had that server, that secret server that triggered this entire scandal, was because she was doing something fundamentally corrupt at the State Department. She was trading favors for money for the Clinton Foundation and for Bill's speeches. And exposing her emails to public view would have been like a smoking gun exposing that scandal. She blames Bernie Sanders for doubting her integrity, but she doesn't blame herself for not having integrity and for doing stuff that would excite the suspicions of the most benign person in the world. She blames Jill Stein, the Green candidate, for diverting votes, as opposed to her own failure to be sufficiently aggressive on the environmental issues, the issues that animated Jill Stein. She goes after WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, but she doesn't mention that if those emails didn't exist in the first place, their release would not have hurt her. It's the scandal that's the problem, not the cop that uncovered it or released the evidence. And then she blames the Electoral College system for overcoming the popular vote. But she doesn't understand that in those northern blue states, decades of neglect by the Democratic Party had finally metastasized into an incredible anger that dominated the politics of the election in those states. And she never recognized it, she never got it, she never responded to it. She never understood what it was. It hit her completely blindsided because she didn't even know it was coming. These traits of self-absorption, of self-justification, of failure of self-criticism, of lack of objectivity, and the presumption of virtue that should shine forth and obliterate any doubters and permit her to get away with anything. These are core elements of Hillary's character, and we're seeing it clearly in this book. Thanks for watching.
So, my friends, if Hillary Clinton is that stupid, that inept, and that filled with rage, what can we conclude about Hillary's supporters? Item from the Wall Street Journal. President Donald Trump on Thursday is expected to extend sanctions relief to Iran, U.S. officials said, retaining for now the U.S. commitment to the landmark 2015 nuclear agreement, whose fate nonetheless remains uncertain. As part of the international deal, the U.S. agreed to waive a wide range of sanctions on Iran and must renew the waiver every 120 days. Thursday is the deadline for renewing that waiver. While Mr. Trump is expected to renew the waiver and extend U.S. sanctions relief, he also is nearing another deadline in October to certify to Congress that Iran is in compliance with the terms of the nuclear deal. Mr. Trump, a severe critic of the nuclear agreement, has twice informed Congress that Iran is meeting its obligations under the deal, but told the Wall Street Journal in July he doesn't expect to certify in October that Tehran is in compliance. He's been briefed on various options, including certifying Iran's compliance in several ways not to. U.S. officials said a final decision on the certification due in October hasn't been made and that it's unclear what the president will do. The administration has been conducting a review of its Iran policy that is still underway. Item. This comes from Truth or... No, I'm not going to do that one now because we're about to hit a break. See that? I reserve the right to go around the breaks. Item from Breitbart. President Donald Trump confirmed to reporters he was willing to deal with Democrats on amnesty for DACA recipients separate from funding for his promised wall, unquote. This is what Laura Ingraham was talking about. You will never have more leverage for the wall than right now, and it appears Donald Trump is blowing it. Item from studyfinds.org. Though many might never admit it publicly, a new survey finds 4 in 10 adult Americans will still sleep with a teddy bear at night. And many of those bears are the same bears kept from childhood. The popular custom teddy bear outlet Build-A-Bear Workshop commissioned a new survey with over 2,000 Americans to gauge their views on their furry friends and came away with some surprising findings. 4 in 10 American adults still sleep with a stuffed animal. More than half of the survey participants indicated they currently own a stuffed animal. 40% indicated the toy joins them at bedtime. We'll take a break. We'll come back with Diamond and Silk, and then we'll sign off for the week, my friends. More Real Truth ahead.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit, whether they are God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10.
Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver. It's not only the best Italian and Mexican cuisine, it's for people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo. We live with pocket plan and remind us that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at the beginning. We want to applaud the youngsters in our community that it's true. They know to drug. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's supported with the pocket plan located at 366 serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized beef and pork and complete custom process. Call 303-688-2240.
My friends, I know you don't watch The View, and neither do I, to be quite honest. But I'm about to play a clip from The View, and only for 2 reasons. They're called Diamond and Silk, 2 of our friends, staunch Trump supporters. They invaded the show and set Whoopi Goldberg's ass right. Let's listen in.
That's what we heard from President Obama.
My friends, I love Diamond and Silk because they tell the truth and they don't care who likes it. Item from Infowars.com. California Governor Jerry Brown and top lawmakers announced on Tuesday they plan to spend $30 million helping young immigrants with legal services and college financial aid. The announcement comes in response to President Donald Trump's decision to end a program that gives temporary protection from deportation to people brought to the country illegally as children or by parents who overstayed visas. The proposal requires legislative approval this week before lawmakers head home for the year. The Assembly and State acted on dozens of other proposals throughout the day, including criminal sentence reductions, lowering the voting age, and barring employers from asking about applicants' salary history. Unquote. In short, my friends, California continues to be governed by children. Please, dear God, let California secede quickly. Item from Spisa. Today, a 15-year-old asylum seeker suspected of a murder at Friskis and Svedis in Ängelholm, Sweden, should have been arrested. But there will be no detention because no interpreter can be found, according to Sydsvenskan. That's a news service. 2 district court employees have spent the entire day seeking an interpreter, but have simply not managed to find one, said Martin Persson, counselor at the Helsingborgs District Court. Persson that tomorrow night the deadline for holding the asylum-seeking boy expires, and he has to be released if he's not detained. Unquote. In other words, crime pays. I'll be back on Monday, my friends, with more real truth. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay angry.